When Isaac was old and his eyes grew dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his oldest son, and said to him, My son. And he answered him, I am here. Then he said, Behold, I am now old, and do not know the day of my death. Therefore now I pray you, take your tools, your spear and your bow, and go to the camp, to get me some deer meat. Then prepare me some salt meat, as it pleases me, and bring it to me, that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you, before I die. Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went into the country to hunt game and bring it. Then Rebekah spoke to Isaac his son, saying, Behold, I heard your father speaking to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me some fame, and prepare me some salted meat, that I may eat, and bless you before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, listen to my message and what I command you. Now go to the flock and bring me 2 good goat kids, that I may make a good dish of them for your father, as he desires. Then you shall bring them to your father, and he shall eat them, that he may bless you before his death. But Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is rough, and I am soft. My father might perhaps frighten me, and I would seem a mocker to him, so I would bring upon myself a curse and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Just listen to my voice and go and bring it to me. So he went and prepared them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother prepared a pleasing meat, such as pleased her father. And Rebekah took the finest clothes of her eldest son Esau, which were in her house, and clothed Jacob, her younger son. And she clothed his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of kids. Then he put into his son Jacob's hand the good food and the bread that he had prepared. When he came to his father, he said, My father, who answered, I am here, where are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn son. I have done what you have done wrong to me. Arise, I pray you. Sit down and eat my dear meat, that your soul may bless me. Then Isaac said to his son, How is it that you found him so soon, my son? Who answered, Because the Lord your God made me find it in my hand. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Come here now, that I may hear you, my son, whether or not you are that son of mine, Esau. Then Jacob approached Isaac his father, who felt him, and said, The robe is that of Jacob, but the hands are that of Esau, because he did not know him, for his hands were rough like his brother Esau. He blessed him. Then he said, Are you my son Esau? Who answered, Yes. Then he said, Bring him here, and I will eat of the venison of my son, that my soul may bless you. She brought it to him, and he ate. She also brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, Come here now, and kill me, my son. He drew near and kissed him. Then he smelled the fragrance of his garments, blessed him, and said, Behold, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you the dew of heaven, the fat of the land, and the abundance of grain and wine. Let the peoples be your servants, and let the nations bow down to you. Be Lord of your brethren, and let the sons of your mothers honor you. Cursed be those who curse you, and blessed be those who bless you. When Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had just left the presence of Isaac, his father, Esau his brother, came in from his hunting. He also prepared some beef, brought it to his father, and said to him, Let my father get up and eat of the venison of his son, that your soul may bless me. But his father Isaac said to him, Who are you? And he answered, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac was seized with great fear and said, Who and where is he who hunted the deer and meat and brought it to me, and I ate everything before you came? And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with a great and bitter cry, out of all proportions, and said to his father, Leave me, even me, my father. Who answered, Your brother has come with guile and taken away your blessing. Then he said, Was he not rightly called Jacob? He has deceived me these 2 times. He has taken my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing. He also said, Have you not kept a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, Behold, I have made him your lord, and all his brothers. I have made them his servants. Moreover, I have supplied him with grain and wine, and now what shall I do, my son? Then Esau said to his father, Have you one blessing? My father, bless me, and me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his head and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, the fat of the land shall be thy dwelling, and thou shalt have the dew of the lake on every side. By thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt be thy brother's servant. But when thou shalt have mastery, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Therefore Esau hated Jacob, because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau thought, The days of mourning for my father will soon come, and then I will kill my brother Jacob. But Rebekah was told of the words of Esau, her eldest son. She sent for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, your brother Esau has comforted himself against you, intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, hear my message. Arise and flee to Haran, to my brother Laban, and stay with him for a little while, until the fierceness of your brothers has subsided, until the wrath of thy brethren shall depart from thee, and he shall forget the things which thou hast done to him. Then I will depart and take thee away from there. Why should I deprive myself of the two of you in one day? Rebekah also said to Isaac, I am weary of my life for the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughters of Heth, like these of the daughters of the earth, what I have to live for. And Isaac called Jacob, blessed him, charged him, and said to him, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your father, and from there take to wife one of the daughters of Laban, your maternal brother. May God bless you and cause you to grow and multiply, that you may be a multitude of people, and grant the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land where you are a stranger, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob, who went to Padan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Aramite, brother of Rebekah, mother of Jacob and Esau. When Esau heard that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife from there, when he blessed him, he commanded him not to take the daughters of Canaan to wife, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Padan Aram. Esau also, seeing that the daughters of Canaan displeased Isaac his father, and Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, the son of Abraham's, the sister of Nabiot, to wife. Now Jacob departed from Beersheba and went to Haran. And he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set, and he took the stones of the place and lay down under his head and slept in the same place. Then he dreamed, and behold, there stood a ladder upon the earth, the top of which reached up to the plateau, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending by the means of it. And behold, the Lord stood upon it and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you will sleep I will give to you and to your descendants. And thy seed shall be as dust of the earth, and shall spread westward and eastward and northward and southward. In thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will guard thee whithersoever thou goest, and will bring thee back into this land. For I will not forsake thee until I have fulfilled that which I have promised thee. Then Jacob awoke from sleep and said, Surely the Lord is in this place. I have not noticed. He became afraid and said, How fearful is this place? It is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Then Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone which he had laid under his head, and set it up as a pillar, and put on oilcloth upon it. And he called that place Bethel, whereas before the name of the city was called Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me and keep me on this journey that I am making, and give me bread to eat and clothing to clothe me, so that I may return to the house of my fathers in safety, then the Lord will be my God. The stone which I have set as a pillar shall be the house of God, and of all that thou shalt give me, I will give thee the 10th part." Then Jacob lifted up his feet and came to the country of the east. As he looked around, behold, there was a well in the field, where 3 flocks of sheep lay, for in that well the flocks were watered. And there was a large stone over the mouth of the well. Then all the flocks gathered together and rolled the stone from the mouth of the well, watered the sheep, and put the stone back on the mouth of the well in its place. Jacob said to them, "My brethren, from whence do you come?" And they answered, "We are from Haran." Then he said to them, "Do you know Laban, the son of Nahor?" Those answered, "We know him." Then he said to them, "Is he in good health?" And they answered, "He is in good health, and behold, his daughter Rahel comes with the sheep." Then he said, "Behold, it is yet day, and it is not yet time to gather the cattle, water the sheep, and go and feed them." But they said, "We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together, and until the men remove the stone from the mouth of the well, that we may water the sheep." While he was talking with them, Rahel also came with the flocks of his fathers, for he was guarding them. When Jacob saw Rahel, the daughter of Laban, his maternal brother, and the sheep of Laban, his maternal brother, he approached, took the stone from the mouth of the well, and watered the flocks of Laban. His maternal brother Jacob kissed Rahel, lifted up his head, and wept. For Jacob told Rahel that he was her paternal brother and the son of Rebekah. So she ran to tell her father, and when Laban heard of Jacob, the son of his sister, he ran to him and embraced him and kissed him, and brought him into his house. And he told Laban all these things. To whom Laban said, "Well, you are my flesh and blood." And he stayed with him for a month. For Laban said to Jacob, "Though you are my brother, should you then serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall be your wages?" Laban had 2 daughters, the elder of whom was named Leah, and the younger Rahel. Leah had tender eyes, while Rahel was fair and gentle. Jacob welcomed Rahel and said, "I will serve you for 10 years for Rahel, your youngest daughter." Then Laban answered, "It is better for me to give her to you than to give her to another man. Stay with me." And Jacob served 10 years for Rahel, and it seemed to him but a few days, for he loved her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, that I may go to her, for my term is ended." Therefore Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. But when it was evening, he took Leah, his daughter, and led her to him, and went in to her. And Laban gave his eldest Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a servant. But when it was morning, behold, it was Leah. Then she said to Laban, "Why have you done this to me? Have I not served you for Rahel? Why then have you deceived me?" Laban answered, "It is not the practice of this place to give the young man before the old man. When you have completed 7 years for her, we will also give you this for the service, that you will still serve for me for another 10 years. So Jacob did so, fulfilling his 10 years, and gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife. Laban also gave Rahel his daughter Bilhah, his wife, as a servant. So he also approached Rahel, whom he valued more than Leah, and served him for another 10 years. When the Lord saw that Leah was despised, he made her fruitful, but Rahel was barren. Leah conceived and bore a son and named him Reuben. For she said, because the Lord had looked on my tribulation, my husband will love me. Then she conceived again and bore a son and said, because the Lord heard that I was hated, he also gave me this son. She named him Simeon. Then she conceived again and bore a son and said, at this time my husband keep me company, for I have given him 3 sons. Therefore his name was Leo. Then she conceived another time and bore a son, saying, now I'll pray to the Lord. Therefore she named him Judah and left her womb.